Hey, everybody. Welcome to Washday Live, where we talk about topics, concerns, and hairstyles that we do on Wash Day. Now, today is our talk edition. We're going to be talking about how to exit the beauty industry with grace. This is a topic that not enough people are talking about. At least I'm not in the circles that are talking about that. And I want to give you my raw, uncut, unfiltered thoughts um, regarding this topic. And if I could be totally honest, it has been something that has been making me very anxious over the last few years. But have you ever wondered what happens to hairstylists once they hit a mature age, or um, how do you ride off into the sunset as a hairstylist or in the beauty industry? How do you, have you ever wondered what that is, or have you imagined yourself or had dreams of yourself making tons of money as a hairstylist, or having a salon business and making tons of money, and then taking that money and just retiring and exiting the industry, happy and skipping through the fields, and that was the end of that. Now you realize that maybe that's not a thought that you had or having, or maybe that's a thought that has never entered your mind. But things like that takes thought, and it takes planning, and it takes preparation, and a lot of times that's not something that we are taught to do. So me, for example, if I could be totally honest, today I was supposed to go live talking about hair stuff, beauty stuff, challenges, the regular wash day thing. But I just been thinking about this. I said I have to come on here and keep it real and tell you exactly what I've been dealing with and what I've been thinking about for the last few months and the last few years. What have been making me anxious, the fear that I have been living with, and how I overcame that, and what I'm doing to overcome that so that I could finally live in peace. And, when I learn something is really when I want to come on here and share it with you guys. So many of you may not know my story, but I started in cosmetology, in the beauty industry, over 20 years ago. I've been a licensed cosmetologist for 24 years. And when I entered into this space, into the beauty industry, my dreams, I had big dreams of everything that you can think of. I wanted to um, have lots of clients, make lots of money, open my own business, work with celebrities, travel the world, and, have a life that I could provide for myself and for my future family at the time. It didn't dawn on me, and I don't know if you can relate. It didn't dawn on me that this life wasn't automatic. I think I almost thought that this was an automatic life. Like, you make a lot of money, and that a lot of money was supposed to just keep going everlasting. But then the reality hit, I guess, as you get older, as I gotten older, like in my 20s, it was just that hustle, that grind to make it happen. In the 30s, still grinding, but maintaining. But now in my 40s, it's the reality is hitting that, you know, if you don't work, you don't get paid. And many of us, not just hairstylists or in the beauty industry, I think as freelancers, the reality hits you one day. And if it hasn't hit you one day, maybe uh, this live will be the thing that wakes you up. It hits you one day that, you know what, if I don't work, I don't get paid. And that can cause a lot of fear. It can cause a lot of anxiousness. And, I wanted to talk about a few things that I put in place. And honestly, because since I'm just keeping it 100% real with you guys, I was just going to do my outline, and I said, you know what? Let me get technology involved in here. Let me get a little innovative. So I threw my question into chat gpt, and that's a software that's like, a big search engine, gives you ideas. And it's, you just google chat gpt if you don't know what that is. And they came up with some really good answers. So instead of me just shooting off the dome with my solutions, because what they came up with, a lot of the things I was thinking myself, but I there's some things here that I didn't consider. So I kind of want to give you like a sort of a reaction video. So you're going to get a lot of solutions. You're going to get my real-time reaction, and hopefully it'll give you some inspiration if you have been thinking about how is it possible. I've seen I mean, and that's another thing too. This might have to be an ongoing series, because I think this is a conversation that I'm in my 40s. This is something I really could have been thinking about in my 20s and 30s, but it's not too late. If you're in your 40s and above, it's not too late to get some things in place. But I just feel like it's not taught in beauty school. We're just left to, chase our dreams and, use our imagination to figure some things out. But I think we don't have to do that, and we don't have to have a rude awakening at the end. So if you are someone who has successfully and gracefully exited the beauty industry and you'd like to drop some gems, you can hop on this live with me or DM me for a future conversation, because I would love to talk to somebody in real life who has been able to do this, and not necessarily having to have another job, or maybe you've invested, or maybe you've done some type of business, not in a comfortable way. I would just love to see what that looks like, because when I look around, there's really a small percentage of people who have like made it to a certain level where they could just ride off into the sunset with a bag full of money, you know. But for the majority of us, that's not our reality. For the majority of us, especially if we're not thinking about it, or if we're not planning, or if we started it a little bit too late. But before I get started into my before I get started into giving you some of these solutions, I do want to invite you to join the Stacy Ciceron community by downloading the app. That link is in my bio. Through this app, you're able to book services. If you're interested in getting your hair done, you can shop my washday essentials, which are all the products and tools that I use when I do my live, my washday live, when I'm doing my hands-on tutorials. You can also be the first to find out about events, and this is where you'll be able to purchase the tickets. Secondly, I wanted to invite you to download my free ebook called 5 Things You Must Know Before Working with Highly Textured Hair. It's more than just knowing the hair type. There's definitely a deeper meaning behind this relationship that I want you to feel comfortable and confident with. And I truly believe that with this ebook, you'll be able to be set up for success. So both of those links are in my bio to download my free ebook and get it right to your inbox, and also to download the app to join the community and be in the know of what's going on. All right. So let's go ahead and jump right into these solutions. Let me know if this is something that, if you're watching this live or you're catching this on the replay. I need to know, am I alone in this? Am I the only one? I mean, I am a woman of a certain age, but am I the only one that has given any thought to what people do. I mean, if I really, really think about it, what did I really think would happen, right? You work for a certain amount of years. How did I imagine exiting? And if I was to just follow example of my corporate brothers and sisters, they have certain things in place. They have their retirement fund, they have um, certain structures in place as a corporation to be able to make that happen. But that's not something I was privy to 24 years ago entering into this cosmetology space. So, again, this is going to be solutions mixed in with a little bit of a reaction, because a lot of these are my thoughts, but these are also some thoughts that I got when I did my search. All right. So it says here, retiring from the beauty industry, especially for hairstylists who have spent years building relationships with clients, can be a significant life transition. Planning ahead is crucial for ensuring a smooth transition into retirement. Here are several steps hairstylists can take to prepare. So, exiting gracefully is AKA retirement. How do we successfully and gracefully retire from this beauty industry or from behind the chair? So the first thing that we'll talk about is financial planning. Assess savings and investments. Meet with a financial advisor to review your savings, retirement account, and investment strategies. Ensure that you have enough saved to maintain your lifestyle post retirement. So ensure that you have enough saved to maintain your lifestyle post retirement. So that's what this whole thing is about, right? When I talk about retiring gracefully or exiting gracefully, means that there should be no adjustment to your current lifestyle. Can you live like the way you're living or better? How are we going to be able to do that? You have to be able to um, have enough saved to be able to maintain your lifestyle post retirement. So that involves meeting with a financial planner. Um, I have a few recommendations that I could leave in the description box. Oh, by the way, speaking of the description box, this live stream is being streamed on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So wherever you're watching, I have access to the comments in the chat. So if you are vibing along, if you have any questions along the way, definitely drop them in the comment section and I will definitely get to them. Okay. So the next thing, set a retirement goal. Determine your ideal retirement age and the financial requirements to sustain your retirement. Again, we're just talking about what is the, I can't even tell you, because our corporate, our corporate counterparts, there's an age, a 62 and a half or 65. They don't even have to think about what that retirement age is. But as a freelancer, have you thought about what age it is that you want to retire? And from the age that you are now to the age that you want to retire, what is it that you have to put in place? So set a retirement goal, determine your retirement age, and the financial requirements to sustain your retirement. It says here, diversify income streams. So if you have income from products, rentals, teaching, ensure that they are structured to continue generating passive income in retirement. I'm going to come back to that because it's going to talk more about that when we start going through the solutions. All right. Number 2 is sell or transition your business. Now, this is one that I wanted to talk about because I didn't even know this was possible. Okay, let me know in the chat if any of this is news to you. Sell or transition your business. Now, I heard of selling your business, right? So if you have a brick and mortar business or you have an e-commerce or digital business, it is possible for you to sell that business for whatever it is evaluated at, right? But here it's saying many clients remain loyal to their stylist, so consider selling your book of business to a junior stylist or someone you trust. This allows you to pass on your clients and possibly make a profit from that sale. So that made me, again, my another reaction, that made me start thinking about, well, if I'm going to pass down, first of all, you can sell your book. So your name of clients, your loyal clients, that if they are a good stylist or a good business, your client, you'll be helping your clients to transition to somebody you know and trust. But you can sell that list or sell it to a junior stylist that is just starting out and wants to build up, not have to do all of the trudging that we did to build up the clientele. Now, but it made me think about what that might be. That to me, that just sounds like you're starting another business. Not necessarily like if I could stay in business and just pass down my clientele to a stylist and make a profit from it, why don't I just want to do like an ongoing kind of thing? Unless you just want to exit stage left and that's it, then this is the opportunity. But that's what came to my mind. I didn't even know. I knew you could sell your business, and I have heard about people selling email lists or contact lists, but I guess this isn't any different than selling your contact list, right? Retirement from licensing and continuing education. Keep or retire your license. Depending on your plans, you may want to maintain your professional license for teaching or consulting work. If you do not plan on staying in the industry in any form, you can officially retire your license. Again, not something that I even considered. Yes, in this space, we are renew our license every 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, depending on what industry, what sector of the industry that you are in. But the idea of retiring your license, I didn't even think about that. But I'm definitely keeping my license going, because a lot of times, especially in this beauty space, if you're consulting, they require you to keep a valid cosmetology license. Okay. So again, so this is leading into, I guess, additional income. But we'll get to that. Continuing education and credentials. If you want to stay involved in the industry post-retirement, consider continuing education to branch out into teaching, writing, and consulting. We're gonna get into that some more. A lot of this stuff is repetitive, right? I want to get into the idea of how to gracefully exit the beauty industry. And when I say gracefully exit, again, AKA, I am talking about retirement. Let me just jump in the chat to see if any of you are chiming in over here. If you have any questions or comments, if you have been thinking about this and wondering, or if you've not been wondering, you should be wondering, because this is something that, I'm not going to lie, first of all, I have a newfound anxiety. And this doesn't make it any better. Just kind of thinking about, oh my gosh, if I don't work, I don't get paid. Just having this looming over you, if I don't work, I don't get paid. Again, when you're younger, you don't feel it. You're just like, what do you mean if I don't work, I don't get paid? I'm never going to stop working. I'm never going to stop working. Then you get in your 30s, you get in your 40s, and that whole fire under your feet, it's not the same. When you're young, the fire under your feet is like a challenge. It's exciting. But when you get older, that fire under your feet is like, oh, when is this going to end? When is this going to stop? And I also want to say that, you know what? I love the beauty industry. It is a passion for me to be in the beauty industry. This does not mean that I am looking to exit the beauty industry. Spoiler, this does not mean that I'm looking to exit the beauty industry anytime soon. It just means that I want the option. I want to have that freedom to be able to even have an end date. Like, you know what? An end date could settle the spirit a lot. An end date saying, hey, if I continue doing things the way I'm doing it, I know that if I want, that's the freedom, right? To have, be, or do anything you want at any time, that if I want, this would be an option at said date. Do we have that right now? Okay. So if you are chiming in right now, honey, your girl is preaching. We're trying to find out how we're going to secure this bag and gracefully exit the beauty industry. That doesn't mean that you're looking to exit right now. That just means you are planning for your retirement so that you can maintain or have a better life than you have now in those retirement years. And we're not talking necessarily how our corporate brothers and sisters do at 65. We're talking about being able to do it when we want. That's the real freedom, right? All right. So I don't see any comments here, but if you are rocking right along with me, say yes, girl. You're not playing to an empty room. Yes, girl, or heart it up. So I know that you're rocking right along with me. And let me continue on with these solutions. These are good. These are really good because you know what? In 2018, I started getting into my Dave Ramsey bag. And if you don't know who Dave Ramsey is he is a Christian finance guru. Google him, Dave Ramsey. He introduced me to the 7 baby steps, and that was a game changer for me because I just, another term, the rat race, living paycheck to paycheck, that was just getting so tired, so old, and so stale. And I felt like at that point, back in 2017, 2018, that's what I felt like. And to some certain extent, as a freelancer, that is our life, right? We live paycheck to paycheck. Granted, some may be bigger, some may be smaller, but how are we navigating the feast and famine? It doesn't have to be that way. And that's what this conversation is we're tying in a whole conversation that I've been meaning to have for a long, long time. Okay, so let me know if you are rocking with me. Let me just hop back in here. All right, I don't see any yes girls, so I guess maybe the replayers have more action than the people that are watching it live. All right, so number 4, stay connected to the industry. Consider teaching or coaching. Like I said, a lot of the things are repetitious, a little redundant, but I think now we're getting into a solution, right? Staying connected to the industry. Consider teaching or coaching. Retired hairstylists with years of experience are invaluable as mentors. You could teach at a beauty school, coach younger stylists, or offer online courses in hair care and styling techniques. Okay, industry consulting. Your expertise may be valuable to beauty brands, salons, or product companies looking for experienced professionals to offer insight. All right, so staying connected to your industry. So retiring, in my mind, I pictured retiring or exiting in 2 different ways. Again, the first way is you completely exit stage left. You go right off into the sunset and you're sipping on margaritas or pina coladas at the beach. You don't even want to. We've worked hard enough. We've grinded hard enough, and now we don't want to see it. But let me tell you, just a little bit off, a little bit of a riff here. Last year, I lost the ability to work. Okay, just kind of out of nowhere, I lost the ability to work. A mysterious thing came over me, and that's another. Actually, I did I did do a YouTube video about, that experience. And I think that really exacerbated this whole topic of not working and not getting paid, because I actually went through a season last year, which was very traumatic, where I couldn't work. I didn't know what to do, but that's not neither here nor there. But I'm just telling you about this experience because I thought that's what I wanted. I thought that that was the type of retirement or exit that I wanted. I wanted to be able to leave and not do anything. Okay. But then when I was hit with that, with involuntarily hit with not being able to do anything, I realized, no, 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 God, 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 I'm so sorry. That's not, I misinterpreted what that life really was. It's not that I don't want to do anything, because honestly, you end up wanting purpose. You end up wanting to be significant. You end up wanting to still contribute, even in your retirement years. That doesn't mean you just, and again, this is going to be repetitive. We're going to talk about this again. Again, if you're just tuning in, I'm just going over some solutions of how we can gracefully exit the beauty industry. I was going to just spit off the top of my head, but I went on ChatGPT. They gave some solutions that I was thinking of, and also some that I wasn't. So I'm kind of just riffing and reacting off of what we're reading here, right? So basically, staying connected to the industry. I realized last year that I have to stay connected to the industry. This is my industry. This is my passion. Even if I'm not still twirling a curling iron or a flat iron or doing shows, this is my industry. This is where I want to pour back into. So this is what this is saying by staying connected to the industry. Consider teaching or coaching. Okay, fine. You don't want to be a beauty school teacher or something like that, but it should get the wheels spinning of what it is you can do to stay tapped in and just kind of check all the boxes of living a life of purpose, also being retired, also giving back, so there's opportunities for mentorships. And if you can't find it, maybe that's something that you build, whether it's a for-profit or nonprofit organization. These are along the lines. And coaching. Coaching is a huge billion with a B, $1 billion industry right now. And it's not stopping. It's the online education space, the coaching space is just catapulted, especially over the pandemic when people were just online trying to learn new things. So I don't know what type of exit you want to do, but I'm just telling you that the retirement is not it's not all cracked up to be just sitting around doing nothing. You want to still have meaning. And so you might want to consider using your years and years of expertise to create another source of income, if you still must work or if you still love being involved, which is kind of like what I realized that I want after last year. Okay. Staying active in beauty networks. So even after retiring, staying connected with the beauty community can help keep you in the loop for opportunities that fit a slower pace. Opportunities that fit a slower pace. Again, based on what it is you want and how you want to move, or if you need to move at all. Okay. Here's one that I definitely knew about, but I didn't consider it in my hustle and grind plans, and that is plan for healthcare. So healthcare costs. As a self-employed stylist, ensure that you have a plan for health insurance in retirement. Medicare may cover some, but not all of your needs. Look into long-term care insurance. Consider insurance options for your long-term care in case of illness or aging-related needs. Now, this is also another one that I did not consider even in all my planning and getting everything together. That is something we have to plan for. The insurance is not automatic. Yes, we have some state-funded plans, but again, it doesn't cover everything. So that is something you want to make sure that all your bases are covered so that you can exit what? gracefully. Put gracefully in the chat if you're rocking along with me. Let me go ahead and check on Instagram because I don't know, you guys are kind of quiet over there. You guys are quiet. I'm wondering, okay, y'all can hear me on Instagram, right? You guys are quiet over there. All right. So number 6, now we're getting into, again, more income possibilities. So number 6, set up passive income streams. Okay. Now, before I start talking about setting up passive income streams, I thought about a little bit of a disconnect here. If I have to react to setting up passive income streams, a lot of people don't really understand, have a full understanding of what passive income streams are or semi-passive income streams are. So just to give it some context, we have active income, and that's what this whole conversation is about today. That means we have to act, we have to perform a service in order to transact, in order to exchange, for the funds. We are actively in our business, and if we are not active, those transactions stop. Now, in a passive income business, you physically don't have to be present. And I think a lot of times when we think about passive income, we think that there's no work to be done. I think that that is the misinformation, or misleading idea just based on the word passive. But there's most of the time there's work done up front so that you can sit back on the tail end. So let me give you an example. So if you create a digital product like an ebook or something like that for sale, that is considered a passive income product because you don't physically have to be there to sell your product. You can make money in your sleep. I like to call it sleep coin, baby. I still have not mastered the art of sleep coin, if I'm going to keep it 100% honest. But you do have to put the work up front. You do have to come up with the concept of the book. You have to put content in the book. You have to outline the book. You have to get the book edited. You have to get a cover for the book. You have to create a platform in order to sell the book. But once that's all set up and all of that front end work or back end work is done, once you put it out there, you don't have to physically show up anymore. All you have to do is just check in, make sure your marketing is good, make sure you're running ads or anything like that. And that is passive income. Okay. Reoccurring income is also a form of passive income. This is money coming in every single month that you may have to semi be active about. So that could be a subscription, that could be a membership. Those are things that you can add to your salon business, right? Okay, so now that I gave you a bit of context about passive income, let's see what ChatGPT had to say about that. So product lines. If you developed a personal brand, remember, I'm always talking about building that personal brand, okay? But right here it says, if you develop a personal brand, explore creating a product line or hair care items that could continue to generate income even in retirement. But that also just presupposes that you set it up before you retired, okay? You set it up before you exited stage left. So that's something that could work for you. Not to say you can't set it up after you exit, but I think the smart thing to do, which is what I'm kind of, going through, is let's set this up so that we can truly have that comfortable, graceful lifestyle, right? Rental income. If you own a salon or booth space, consider renting them out to younger stylists for consistent passive income. Again, I knew about this option, but I didn't really think too much into it because you're not really I guess again, in my mind, it's either you exit, you don't want anything to do with it, or you're just basically saying that you want a slower pace. Okay. So it's giving a mix of exiting and still working, but at a slower pace. So if you have a rental income, I mean, if you're considering rental income, that means if you have a salon, if you're booth renting, or if you're a suite owner, you can sublet your space to keep that income coming in. Okay. But you know what? That comes with its own stipulations, right? Like you have to also manage people, manage the space. Like you're still involved. I mean, so you have to determine how much of involvement you want. Write or create content. If you have a blog or social media following, consider monetizing it through affiliate marketing courses or advertising. This is just giving you more passive income ideas. Number 7, see now, when you consider your legacy, now this consider your legacy brought me down a different path than what ChatGPT is talking about right here. When I thought about, oh, consider your legacy, I thought about my children, I thought about my family, I thought about my name. But here, when they talk about legacy building, it says think about what you want your legacy to be in the beauty industry. This might mean writing a book, creating educational content, or establishing a foundation for future stylists. That is legacy too. Again, that's why it's good to be resourceful and know how to just tap into resources like this that just think. It's like a second brain to think about the things that you didn't even consider. Because when I thought about legacy building, again, my name, my family, but I can leave a legacy in this industry, something that lives beyond me. Like they're saying here, it could be a book, it could be educational content. I mean, I already have footprints here on the internet, right? I have a blog, I have then a blog. The blog is not like, if you don't pay, they're going to take that blog down. So we're not going to count the blog. But let's say YouTube is here till eternity. I have content on YouTube. I have search content. I've written and contributed to other articles and magazines. So I think my name and content has a bit of legacy. But baby, I don't know. I just think when I thought about legacy, I thought about something else. Let me know what you thought about when I said legacy building, right? So think about your legacy in the beauty industry. This might mean writing a book, creating educational content, or establishing a foundation for future stylists. I thought about that. I said that earlier. I said something about a profit or nonprofit organization. This has been something I've been thinking about for years, years, years. I'm just like, what would that be? Like how would I help? I even thought about scholarships for hairstylists who are struggling to pay for beauty school, but once you get in, that you could really sustain yourself and sustain your family. I thought about those type of foundations, scholarships and stuff like that. But in this phase, sometimes you could just feel like you're all over the place, right? We just need a plan. What is the plan? I think I'm going to wrap this up and tell you my summation of where I'm at, where I want to be, and how you can get started. All right. Let me just, document your journey. Many retiring stylists use their years of knowledge to write books, memoirs, creating a lasting impact on the industry. Literally just said that. Mindset and emotional transition. That's number 8. Ease into retirement. Rather than an abrupt stop, consider reducing your hours over a few years. This can help with the emotional transition from such a personal and social career. Like I said, wow. Ease into retirement rather than an abrupt stop. Now, I know when you're daydreaming about not working anymore, and when you're daydreaming about what retirement is like, you're not thinking about easing into it. You're thinking about giving the boss the deuces. You want to give your clients the peace sign, and you want to be out. You're not thinking about easing into it. At least I wasn't thinking that way. And then again, my traumatic experience at the end of last year, that was abrupt enough for me to know that, yes, it takes some easing into, A lot of times you really have to have some type of purpose or um, mission or something that you're working on where you feel like you're still significant, still making a contribution, still working toward a mission, whether by yourself or collectively. So, yes, I agree. That's one that I agree with, which is ease into retirement. Stay mentally and physically active. That feeds into what I'm saying here. Retirement doesn't mean slowing down entirely. Stay engaged in hobbies, activities, and relationships to keep a sense of purpose. Spot on. This one was spot on. I really had nothing to say about that except for my personal experience with the abruptness, and it was not pleasant at all. Lastly, we're talking about downsize or liquidate equipment, sell or donate equipment. Consider selling or donating your tools, supplies, and equipment to newer stylists or beauty schools. This can help you downsize and declutter while benefiting the next generation. I don't know, this sounds good in theory that you pass down your items and things like that, but I don't know, the way technology is going, the way innovations is going, I don't know if you're going to want my flat iron that I purchased 3 years ago. Now they're making them wireless. I don't know if you want my blow dryer. Now they're making them smaller. I don't know. It's a good deed, a good gesture. Like, I would definitely, before even considering throwing them out, I would definitely donate, give it away, whatever. I'm just that type of person anyway. Okay. So, just in closing, I'm not closing, so don't jump off just yet. This is Chat GPT closing, and then we're going to close together to see if this resonated with anyone. This helped to open your eyes to anything in your industry. You may not be a hairstylist, or but if you're a freelancer, self-employed, you can definitely relate. All of this can be applied if you are a freelancer, self-employed. Okay, I'm in the beauty industry, and a large percentage of my audience are in the beauty industry. So I just felt like I had to do my due diligence. This is something that have been ruffling my spirit for the past couple of months, the past couple of years. And you know what? God is so on time, but I'm not going to preach right now. I'm going to preach in a second, though. So in closing, ChatGPT says, by proactively planning financially, emotionally, and logistically, retiring hairstylists can ensure a fulfilling life after leaving the beauty industry behind the chair. So that's what ChatGPT had to say. And before I give you my final feedback, let's see if we have any comments over here on Instagram. Listen, Instagram, just give me a sign of life, please. Give me some hearts. Give me something. Give me, what did I say? Gracefully. Gracefully. Type gracefully in the chat over there on Instagram. Oh, wait. I have some life over here. All right, Gabriel. I see you over here. Thank you. Thank you for the love. All right. Because I think every time, because I'm on my iPad here and I'm on the computer right here, but I think every time I close the Instagram window, I lose whatever comments are there. So I'm going to just stay here for a minute. And if you are rocking right along with me, heart it up, type the word graceful in the comments, okay? Let me know that you're rocking with me, or just hit the heart if you want to be incognito. I don't mind. I just need to know Instagram is rocking. Okay. Hey, all right. I got sign of life. I got a sign. Thank you, Arena. I got a sign of life over here on Instagram. Great. All right. So I know that I said a lot, and the whole purpose of this, I'm just going to just wrap it up with the purpose of it. Where do I stand? Where you should stand? The purpose of this live, because I couldn't get it out. Sometimes it's just like everything wants to come out at one time. I want to be able to serve myself and to serve you. But the bottom line is that it hit me that as a self-employed, as a freelancer, when you don't work, you don't get paid. So that is just supposing that, will I ever be able to stop working? That's pretty much it in a nutshell. If I don't work, I don't get paid. Self-employed and freelancers, right? If I don't work, as a matter of fact, the whole workforce, right? If you really think about it, but let's just focus on self-employed and freelancers. If I don't work, I don't get paid. Can I ever stop working? And if I stop working, will I be able to maintain this lifestyle that I have right now? Also throwing out there that low grade anxiety, okay, that's coming on with this perimenopause. I got to do a whole episode on that early onset symptoms, okay? But this is one of the things, because this is all in your mind. Your mind is generating these things, right? But will I be able to stop working? When? When is that? Again, that doesn't mean that I'm looking to stop now, but I need sign of land. I need a sign of land. I'm at the age and I'm at the point where I love what I do. I love what I do, but I do need a sign of land, because I do recognize that I can't go on like this forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Okay? So as a result of this thought process, I'll tell you a few things that I personally have in place, right? So 2018, I started looking into Dave Ramsey. Like I mentioned earlier on in this video, if you missed it, go ahead and catch the replay. So it was the first time that I started thinking, hey, to get out of this rat race and to get out of this living paycheck to paycheck, I have to regulate my inconsistent income. That was the first line of order, was to do that. But if you think back to the very first thing that I was talking about, it is knowing where you are financially. A lot of us are running, hiding. Let me tell you, you could run and hide under a rock, under the blankets, all you want. The thing that you're hiding from is still there. It's better that you face it and know what you're dealing with so that you could deal with it. Okay, so in order for us to maintain the lifestyle, that means we have to do a little bit of research. What is this lifestyle? What exactly is this lifestyle? Is this lifestyle necessary? And how much do I need in order to maintain this lifestyle? If you want your lifestyle to be better, if you find the way it is, that's the part that we have to do. So whether you have that inconsistent income, which a lot of us freelancers or independent contractors have, it's kind of like this feast or famine. How can we regulate that? And there's ways to do it, but it takes planning, sinking funds, right? I think they call it sinking funds or hills and valleys, where you start slowly putting money aside for those times where you don't have it, okay? But to me, I'm still thinking about, what if I stop working? Even though it's inconsistent, it's still coming in. But what if I stop, right? Last year, I had to stop, involuntarily had to stop. Traumatic, okay? So if something like that happens, God forbid, I do not want it to, but how do we now set that up? That was like an early retirement, an involuntary retirement that I didn't even ask for. So I think the first line of order is to know what you're dealing with. How do you regulate your inconsistent income? What if there's no plan B? Back to school? No. All right. This is great. This is great. This is great. This is great. All right. So the first thing is, because, all right, so many thoughts are trying to come in right now. Let me just get through this. All right. So the first thing is to know your numbers. Okay. What is your numbers? What does it take to maintain this current lifestyle? Okay. Now, if it's $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month, $10,000 a month, then you say, okay, is this necessary? Are there some things I can cut back? Maybe you don't want to cut back. So if you want to live exactly how you're living or better, what is it that I can, what is that number? And then you think, all right, what is the retirement age? Okay. And that's the scary part, because I'm getting a little closer to this proverbial retirement age, right? If I'm 45 and they're saying the retirement age is 65, all right, that means I have 20 years to get it together, but I don't want to go the whole 20 years. Okay. But what is that number? So you have to start doing that calculation of what that monthly number is times how many years, okay? And then that would be that number. Okay, so what now could I put in place, or what can generate this income? All right, so that's when we now start talking about what can generate the income. And that's when ChatGPT gave us all of these examples. So if we want to step down from behind the chair, or we want to slow down the pace, all right, now we have to start thinking. There are 3 ways that I know that we can do that. Again, I would love to have somebody on the show that is a living proof of how you do it, but everything right now is in theory for me because I didn't get there yet, right? So we can, number 1, invest in real estate. Okay, real estate is an option for income. Number 2, investing. Investing is an option for income. So whether you are doing a mutual fund, an ETF, all of that stuff, I'm not an investment expert. I'm just telling you there's opportunities there for compound interest, okay, for the long game. All right. And that is the money, your money making money. That's the idea. Your money making money. Okay. But that's not an overnight success. That definitely takes time, which is why they recommend starting as soon as possible. And the third is business. Okay. That's when we started talking about ideas about passive income. So whether that be a physical product, this passive income is opposite to active income, which is the thing that's giving me the anxiety right now, right? Active, I got to be active. Passive income is you create that digital product, you create a book, you have your own product or tools or something like that, you sell it, or you have a business. So option number 3 is a business, okay? If you're in a salon business, you maybe it's something that you keep going with younger stylists, right? I gave you tons and tons of options from ChatGPT. If you missed it, go ahead and catch that replay, okay? And so that leaves me to those 3 options, all right? So now we're talking about, what am I doing? I am doing all 3, okay? But I am a late starter, so I have to wait for those things to start compound and now accumulate, all right, in my favor. But I do have a number, all right? There are calculators online. I'm going to see if I could look it up and leave a link for that in my description. There are debt calculators, there are loan calculators, there are all types of calculators that let you know when you can be debt free, when you what your net worth would be. So basically, if I continue doing exactly what I'm doing now, so that's suppose I stay active for 10 more years. If I do this for 10 more years, my net worth is going to be something that I can retire from and live comfortably and gracefully. That took planning. That took planning. I'm also not 10 years ahead in a time machine. So I don't know exactly what that is going to look like, what the state of the world would look like then. But I do know that if I follow this plan, that I would have a healthy net worth, I will be debt free, and I will be able to exit comfortably and gracefully. Okay. So if you guys want me to do another video on the details of exactly what I did, I would definitely love to do that. And I want to get somebody on that has lived this life. All right. So the question here is, what if there is no plan B, back to school? That's a great question, because now I think that we have to think bigger than school. I'm not against school, but I'm presupposing that school is not traditional school. Okay, so that doesn't necessarily, now in 2024, school doesn't mean going back to university. School means learning a new skill. Okay, so that's what I want to say. And that is, yes, okay, you're in the hair, you're in beauty, there's no plan B, you don't know what else to do. That may be a time to learn a new skill. But again, we're talking about exiting gracefully. What that sounds like, learning a new skill, could mean just jumping into another job. Okay, so maybe you can clarify that for me. But if you start learning a new skill now, well before that it's time to retire, that skill can manifest itself into a passive income, or it can manifest itself into a business that can help you exit gracefully. But when I go back to school, doesn't mean traditional university, college, stuff like that. Now school is taking an online course, getting a certification that may only take 6 months or 18 months to do, like marketing, copywriting, what was that thing I just saw on Google? Analytics, Google Analytics. Now it's AI prompt engineering, right? So being able to work with AI. So definitely, if you don't have a plan B, and none of these little options right here on the list that I gave you work, then the thing is to acquire a new skill, and don't wait till, it's too late. Start learning the new skills so that you can have that in place, to have your business. Okay. How do you regulate your inconsistent income? Okay, so how you regulate your inconsistent income, and this is not from me, this is what I learned from Dave Ramsey. There was a technique called sinking funds or hills and valley funds, right? But this starts with knowing what your monthly expenses are. So let's say your monthly expenses are $5,000 or $10,000, and you get paid. There's a month where you get paid more than that. Let's say you make $12,000 in a month, or whatever beyond your income. You put that excess money into your sinking fund or into your hills and valley fund. So the idea is almost to be ahead, to be a month ahead, to be 2 months ahead, to be 3 months ahead. This is not an emergency fund, because emergency funds is something that you use only in case of an emergency. The Hills and Valley Fund is just the cushion that you create. So for those months where you're in famine, because we're feast of famine as independent contractors, sometimes you can get a lump sum of money and then you don't get anything at all, that you have that reserve to live off of in between those lump sum payments. So that's how you would create to regulate an inconsistent income. Also, that's just one option. But again, the idea here is to find ways to generate more income. So he recommends getting a side hustle, whether that is driving an Uber, delivering pizza, babysitting, braiding hair, doing makeup, whatever the side hustle is. The side hustle will help you to reduce your debts quickly, and also help to add to that cushion so it's less inconsistent. So I hope that answers your question. Again, I have to apologize to the people watching on Instagram. Every time I close my iPad, I lose the comments. So if you had any questions that I didn't get to read off, definitely put them back in the chat, and I will get to them. As soon as there's a little bit of a delay, but I want to be able to answer your questions. Okay, if not, I'm just going to wrap it up. But in the meantime, I just wanted to take the opportunity to say thank you for tuning in. This was, I know sometimes when I say things, people are like, no, not you, not you. You're so confident or whatever. This was more of a leap of faith to talk about something that I feel that is affecting our industry, our beauty industry, and nobody's talking about it. Again, in my 20s and 30s, this was not even something I knew something was off because I felt like I was living paycheck to paycheck, but I also felt like I was doing everything I needed. I wasn't the one to be buying the shoes and the bags and living this lavish life. It just seemed like I was doing what was necessary, but still felt like I wasn't maximizing my money. Like I had nothing to show for it. And I just had to really seek guidance, because I realized that I could not do this on my own. I couldn't solve this problem on my own. And that's how I ended up doing my research. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This was great. Thank you so much, Stacy. Definitely share this with somebody that you feel can benefit from this video. I dropped a lot of gems. This is literally what has been making me anxious, so anxious. Even though I'm already doing the steps, toward freedom. But in doing that, I'm just like, there's a bigger picture here. I want to teach you about hair and hair care and mindset and psychology of the hair. But as stylists, as artists, we really have to look at the big picture. And I just wanted to be transparent that, all that glitters, it could be gold, but there's another level to it that we have to plan. It doesn't have. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted, to bring awareness to the fact that the life that you want is not necessarily automatic, and it takes some planning. Okay, so we're not necessarily in a corporate setting where these retirement plans are set up or contributed to. But if we don't work, we don't get paid. And we have to just put some things in place. And I definitely had to learn the hard way. So I'm going to share a lot more about this personal side of my journey moving forward, because I just really feel like it is going to help someone. So if this has resonated with you, if you're just joining in right now, we're talking about how to exit the beauty industry with grace, aka retire. Do we know anyone that has successfully retired? I don't know anyone that has successfully retired per se. I don't know. Please introduce them to me. There's a handful of people that ride off into the sunset with tons of money, brand deals, their own product, millionaires and everything. But for most of us, that's not our reality. But that doesn't mean that we can't have a graceful, peaceful, comfortable life. Okay. So if there are no more questions, I'm on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. I don't see any questions. I'm going to go ahead and log off. But before I do, make sure you join the Stacy Cicerone community using the link in my bio. This is where you can download the app. And once you're inside the app, you can shop my Washday Essentials, which are all the tools and products that I use every single time that I go live. That's in the shop. If you're interested in booking hair services, you can only do that through the app, and also live events. So anything that's going on, you'll be the first to know, but you'll also be able to purchase your tickets to these events. And secondly, my ebook, okay, that talks about being ready to service highly textured hair clientele, called 5 Things You Must Know Before Working with Highly Textured Hair. It's more than just hair type. I want to set you up for success. It's absolutely free, and you can get it straight in your inbox by clicking the link in my bio on Instagram. All right. But if you're feeling adventurous, you can go to stacycicerone.com, and everything is right there too. All right. Thank you guys. So this is Christina. I would love to talk to you. Okay, I'm not an expert on this now. I can only offer you advice. All right. Okay, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you share, make sure you like, make sure you do all of those things that help get me in that algorithm, baby. See you guys next week for Wash Day Live every single Sunday. I forgot to say every single Sunday because somebody said, oh, I thought that was just something you were doing. Yes, something I'm doing every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week, Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Ciao.